Hi, this is Kara Hart, and I'm the chairman of the board, CEO of Disabled Artists Foundation. And sounds like really big bills, just me, but I have a whole lot of volunteers who help make this happen for the foundation. Well, this has actually been a fun labor of love, and it's been fun to get back into crafting. It's been a while. Hi there, Fly Fox. It's been a while since I've had the opportunity to play. And so I really took this project as a grand opportunity to play. And in addition to the actual creation of the product, I really enjoyed putting the entire kit together. Now, all of the artists who choose to have this Padfolio project as part of their package for this month, this is what they'll receive. If they don't choose it, then they get something different for this month, which is totally cool. It'll be a supply of different kits that Jean Peter is working on. And thank you, Jean Peter, for doing all of the kits this month. Now, the angel bags for last month received the supplies to make this project. Everything you see here today, hey there, Sharon. Everything you see here today was included in the angel bag. Including a crazy number of printables as part of the angel bag. So if you're watching today and you send me an email, I will send you a link that allows you to download all the printables for free as a gift for being a part of today's sudden pop-up of the share. But let me tell you what I was looking for in making this, and this is just a share, not a tutorial. First off, I take forever to do a tutorial. Hi there, Sherry. This is like a lap book, but what I wanted to have, I'm going to turn it sideways so you can see. This is like a little Midori spot for you to do. What I wanted to have was an easy thing that I can take with me and write notes on because I can't remember diddly squat. And it's not completely decorated because I still left some stuff for myself to do. And when the artists get it or the angels get it that purchase the subscription, all of these will be designed very differently, likely. But in my case, I chose to put the notepad, which I'll pull out. I chose to put just this little normal looking notepad in this white thick envelope. And that's why I chose a very thick mailer. Is so it would be nice and durable so you can go through your notepads like water, like I sometimes do, especially if you're in a business meeting or something. But if you're someone who likes to take notes on everything, keep in mind that if you put it on the front flap and you try to close it, I chose to put this little, I would call it a belly band, but it's too low, so I'm going to call it an ankle band. So I chose to put this little ankle band down at the bottom. That way, when my paper's in here, this is thicker cardstock, so it's durable enough to take the turn of the page. And now you see it doesn't fall through. Hey there, Jean, Peter, and Patricia. Isn't it fun to craft again? Oh my gosh, I loved making this. The cover I did out of the map printables. There's 7 sheets of maps that are truly authentically old. Many of them from even several hundred years ago, couple hundred years ago, 100 years ago, all out of copyright, so you can reproduce it as much as you want to reproduce it. I just ask that you not sell the digital as you received it, because that would be my work of putting that together. So on the outside, I used the paper bag. The ink was not included, but all the artists will get ink if they're getting this kit. I did not decorate the back because this is actually, I haven't decided what to do with that yet. And the front, I put the little feather because, goodness, I love peacocks. So as I open it again, I walked you through this. I didn't finish the inside, as you can see, because I likely am going to doodle the dickens out of it. I gave myself a second Midori strap right here. All of the artists are going to receive that. The elastic will come on something like this. I did cut that, realizing you needed it. So if you're an angel, the elastic is not included in the bag, but everything else in here is. If you're a artist and you don't have the hole punches to make the holes, the eyelet setter or something like that, please let me know that. That's easy to put on your wish list. This is going to be something different. I can guarantee you that. I just left it here because I know that I'm going to make something else out of this and haven't decided what yet. I think what I might do, well, I really don't know. I haven't decided what to do that yet with that yet. There's a lot of things you can do with it. I mean, you can turn these kinds of things into folders like I just did on a little tutorial yesterday. And then they go into a Minori notebook or something like that. But this one is going to end up being bigger and more useful, I'm sure. Not that you need that level of detail, but it came from a hanging folder. Now, when you flip it, I'm going to slide it over so we stay on screen. When you flip it, the purpose of this was to make a reference book for artists and angels, if they wanted to, on how to make a bunch of different kinds of pockets in different shapes or the same shapes, and how to lay them out differently. So we'll get to that in a second. This, I just used book pages, which all the artists had Media Month recently. I'm sure everyone has their own book pages. The book pages were not included in the kit, but this fun little out was one sheet of paper that you flip up on the back side. All the artists will have this. All the papers, the artists don't have to print themselves. We actually print all, what is it, 34 pages? 34 pages for every artist will be printed. And on the ones like this, it'll be printed front and back where the little out is in there. And I don't expect anyone to make them the same. This is my purple little folder, and this is going to be actively used for me personally. And I think it's kind of fun for you guys to have something you can actively use as your project kit, or just play, or have a really big project. Like, it's fun to paint a giant canvas. These are a couple of things I have left I didn't get to. These are a couple of things I have left I didn't get to. If you are going to use this in your art, please make sure you significantly modify it. This one you don't have to worry about. Now, and in everyone's little folder, there's a spot for your business card. I did a little tutorial. You'll see in the link in the description box down below. I'd say little, but we're talking hours. In the first one, I'll show you the bones of how to do all the flip outs, right? So here, this one actually flips down and up. I don't have enough screen to show you how big it actually goes. But I gave it a spine. I left the spine exposed. And while it's flipped down, I made it in such a way that I can actually tuck it underneath. Okay, so you already saw the little thing, and now you can see it's just folded and underneath my book, or whatever you want to call this massive Padfolio thing. Then in here, this is just an envelope I haven't doodled yet. It's big enough to hold a time card. This here was something that I used to make marks with. I do actually plan to, let's just do that at the end of the video. I plan to use that as my header, so I don't have to look at the brown part of the header that I peeled off the original label of. That was my last thing left to do. I should have done that before here. Hey there, Deborah. So when I opened this envelope, this is where I trimmed out all of the flowers and birds and butterflies. If you guys are interested in all of the PDFs of the, but I don't know, what was that in birds, butterflies? I don't know. I've got all kinds of PDFs in those. One of these days I'll put all those PDFs back on, but for now this package just included that. I did enjoy doing this little thing. This bird is glued onto one of the little bands. I only put glue here so I could open the bird, and I tried to put the glue to where his tail doesn't bend when I open him. Does that make sense? So then I have a little butterfly and a stamp right there, and I close it out. And so the birds and the butterflies, I don't have to worry about them falling off. I do have to worry about the tape accidentally sealing in Florida from the glue strip. but I'm not going to worry about it right now. So get ready for all these little pot things. So I have a belly, head to toe band right here. This has nothing in it, but it will be decorated pretty soon. First time I'm sitting and waiting on someone. This is a pocket here. This is another pocket. Oh, I've got stuff in that pocket. There's little printable things in this pocket. These printables came from the 1860 to 1908 printable that was provided to everyone, and there's a whole bunch of them that I've used throughout. And the reason that they're like this, first off, yes, they're copyright free and you can reproduce them. I just ask that you not sell them as you received the PDF. But these ones are absolutely really, really fun because you can take your magnifying glass and read the details of them and the shockingly low prices. And then all of the images you see on here were copyright-free images from books that I own the PDF version of and have sold in the past. This is a giant bag. This is just a little flip, and then this flips out, and this is a pocket. So do I have something small I can do as a pocket right there? I do. So it's a little pocket. I'll just leave that in there so you can see this one's a pocket. Now, this is a book page, did not come with the kit. Hey there, Kathy. So this little book page, I decided to just rip because I like butterflies on book pages for some reason. So that's just a me thing. But I did tell the artist about that. I made another little Midori slot here. So you can see that I have 3 spaces to add things. And the reason I like Midori is because this will be an active notebook for me, and you can just slide things around as you need to. In fact, that's a good spot for this. I might put it there instead. So I'm notorious for bending my little doilies. When I make it a tuck like this, I'm not going to worry about it. You can see there's a couple of things you can tuck in underneath. I'll probably end up gluing the side down because that's going to annoy me. And then there's a couple of different ways you can use this door. This little bingo card was made and gifted to the foundation, and I made 50 of these kits, and we had 50 bingo cards. So it was kismet that the bingo cards, which everyone gets one differently, and they're all going to look different, and it's cute what it says on the back side in some of these because this gave the information on where the button came from. So this is an interesting level of detail on the buttons. And so I just tucked it into my little head to toe band. This is just a part of one of the envelopes and another micro size pocket. Do I even have something that small? I do. Here's a micro size pocket. Just put that in there. And this is just waiting for me to doodle on it. That's why I left it pure white, because I think this is going to be a lot of fun to play with. And then just to show people there's a whole bunch of ways to flip and do things, I only glued the top part of the sliced envelope so I could flip it up, doodle here, write notes, maybe make it a secret. Whatever goes in here, it can't be too loose because when you flip it up, it does want to fall out, or you can just naturally pinch it if you want to. Maybe a paper clip would go good right there, but I didn't include paper clips in the kit. Now, I did put these fabulous pieces of history right here in the printables. They're nice and long and lean. So one of the fun things about this, if you wanted to print it on something thicker or you just want to do it on something thin, is I used it to hold down this, like a little latch to hold it closed. These 2 little pockets, you'll notice the notch is high and low. This is just to remind people that when you're making pockets, you don't always have to put your little notch of pulling something out always in the middle. You can use the piece of art that you have when you're making the pocket to decide where to put it. And these little bits and pieces of this imagery, they're also copyright free and pieces of history, which I do absolutely love. And shaky hands right now because that's just the person I am. There we go. So getting it back in there isn't always easy. This one flips up. You can put something in there if you so desire, like this, but make sure you don't put it over the door because it'll bend. So I'm not going to do that, but we can take one of these little tags out and see if it fits. Nope, it's just a little bit too wide. Well, either way. Oh, look, I have a paper clip right here. It'll remind me to put it there so whatever's in the pocket doesn't come out. And I can decorate that paper clip later. All right, so that's just one of the printable doilies. These doilies were actually made by the fabulous, oh, is this one of the doilies made by Violet? Or is this just one of the doilies that I have in my stash? So it's one of the two. So I took pictures, photographs, and then removed the white space, but in this case, printed it on white of the doilies, and that's how it made its way into this kit. You can see that there's several different ways. Oops, sorry. It's my alarm. There's several different ways of using this door. You can put the lady in front if you want. She only has one little flip right here. The doors I cut in half and put right here, but you don't have to cut your doors in half if you don't want to. I also put it like this so you can tuck her under, or like this so it looks like a crown, whatever I'm in the mood for. Now, you could actually use this little spot right here to hold your door closed, but I just don't see that it's necessary. I do like using this to hold my doors closed. Yes, the link for the printables are part of the kit. So now I'm going to just keep moving you over because it's so freaking big. I'm sorry it's so big. It's just I needed big to fit the full legal size pad. So, yep, I'm going to just fold this underneath. The beauty of a lab book, right? Now, you can make yours flip up and flip down and all over the place, however you want to make it. Like I said, it's just meant to be a play space. And right here, I used, you can see right here, this is the long piece that people get that goes with a hanging folder when you take off the edge of the hanging folder. That long piece I cut to size to fit the little tabby part of your classification folder. And I put 2 holes in the book, or no, the book already has 2 holes. That way, if you don't have a punch that can make it through a book, it's already done. And that was gracefully done by Johnny, Junk Journal Johnny, if you know who she is. And then this part right here, I only glued on the back side so I could flip it one way and the other. And eventually this is going to be covered when I find the inspiration I need for it. But for now, I actually think it's kind of funny because it's a mail truck and I get a boatload of mail. And so for me personally, I'll probably always keep that side and put something inspirational here. So when I flip this down, you can see all of these. And yes, it gets crazy on here trying to see it all. These are just the printables, and I use them to show you all the different tucks. So this is really just a little fan of tucks. You can put something behind it on here, this way, or this way doesn't work as well. And so I use the little seed packets from that. And again, these seed packet images are from way forever ago. So like I said, all the images here are copyright free because they came from my PDF books that are all older than 19. In this case, everything in here is older than 1920 in the printable digital kit called Pocket Padfolio or whatever that one is. And again, these came from the 1908 to 1860 selection. Not in that order, 1860 to 1908. And so then you have these 3 tags, which are just simple digital tags. And with all the hardest, all of the things that you have that are in the 20 pages of printables will be backed by the coffee dyed printable that other people are getting separately. So that way, whether if you want to use it just as it is in the printable, then you have all your tags and all your things printed. So the back side of things are coffee dyed. So if it is exposed, you don't see bright white. And there's all different kinds of things that are coffee dyed like that. And so we have a pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket there. And that's all part of that one the Pocket Padfolio printable. And this classification folder, oh, I'm sorry, the While You Were Out is not included in the angel bags. I'm so sorry for that. But I have these set aside for tonight to make sure that I have them in the bags for the hardists. And if you're a hardist and you don't have a hole punch, this month would be the right month to let me know. That way you don't get these and you're not able to attach them into the little metal things in the classification folder. So these are fun. They're just straight up fun, and they're included in the kit. This is if you were to wrap $100 bills, it would end up being just a little wrap like that. I'll show you in a bit how I used it as a belly band, and this is just where I'm going to store them for myself. This is another one of my favorite little printable things, but this came in the 20-page printable. This is in the 1860 printable. And when you flip the page, I'm sorry, I'm saying printable too much, but when you flip the page, where did this come from? Oh, it came from here. And that's because I didn't really make this pocket tight. So I'll just hold it tight as I flip it. Odds are I'll take everything out of these pockets when I go to use it, or make everything in the pockets tight. So here you go. This is going to have a boatload of things for you. So these were beautifully made, and I wish I remember who the artist was that made these. These were actual tea bags. We took a photograph of them. She donated them to the foundation, and they're just stunning. Some of the ones that she had made were already sent out to the hardist in their packages when we did one of the ADC sets in the month. These ones were held back for digital and then sent out to the hardists, but they're just fun to include. Now, this is, I used a pair of scissors to make them choppy on the edges, but it does have this where it's set up on white paper that gets cut out manually. So there's a little bit of fussy cutting in this kit. This is one of the ones where this actually has a little tab that folds out. It's meant to just fold in so you can make an easy pocket here. And then I set up a elongated tab so it can tuck underneath the flowers here. Does that make sense? So this flower is a pocket as well. If you really want it to stick, you can put something in there if you want. Let's say you're going to use this as a painting thing. It's wide enough for a thicker card. This is just a flap. This type of pocket, I pull it down, little piano thing. It's just, again, the coffee dyed paper. Not real coffee dyed paper, it's the printable, and you can see how beautiful that is. Tammy Porter does an amazing job of dyeing paper, and I used 10 of her sheets for part of that kit. And then we have the United Artist Portrait. I thought that was just cute to put in here, but I put it in here upright, glued to this little part right here to remind you that, like in the Tim Holtz folio, how they have these little wedges, you can glue things upright and make more pages out of them. And so that was just why that's a reminder there for me personally. This is a folder. This is a flap, but then I used this little cutoff here to close my flap. And that came from this. And this is just a journaling spot. So this was made out of 2 pieces. This is one of the folders where you can see that. Let me see if I can show it to you up close. Okay, so this folder actually comes in 3 or 4 parts, actually. This triangle right here has 2 flaps, so you can glue it onto wherever you want so it can be a tuck. So it doesn't have to go onto the folder. But this folder is all on the same page where you can see the little V shape here, and it can show you that you can make a folder however you want to make the folder using a gusset, and that's how I created this little section separate from that, so your background doesn't always have to be the same. And I'll just put this stuff back in here. These are just some more of the printables just to make it feel beautiful while you're making things. Oh, and there's just a truly vintage index card, which I love the color that came out to be. And that was just in the original folder. So now when you have an envelope, you can actually have a little bit of fun in a whole bunch of different ways with envelopes. And if you haven't done it yet, and if you're a artist or an angel who has this kit, or anybody who's watching this, an envelope is one of the cheapest forms of entertainment for making pockets. And I'm going to show you the silly little way that I made this pocket, although I did take out all the tiny things, so we're not going to be battling tiny things. So first, like everyone else, you can see that you can fold up an envelope, no problem, and you make a pocket out of that. I put washi tape on it just so I could demonstrate it for you guys. Okay. You can also glue down just one part so your envelope becomes the flip. Well, what I did is, let me take off the washi tape again. Okay. What I did, you just picture the full-size envelope, right? Well, you cut off this part right here, and you glue it into the middle part right where you want to crease. There's my crease, and here's the little tab that I cut off right there. I'll take this stuff out, and you can see that it matches this. Okay, so all I did was just fold that little tab, because in an envelope you can fit your hand in here. Well, when you fold it over, you still fit your hand in there and just tuck that little tab in, so it's a temporary or permanent, if you want to, little pocket like that. And then you can still have it be a flip. And these are just pretty things that you can journal on that came from the 1860 stuff. This was intentionally printed in such a way to remind you that if you accidentally print something and the front side is printed one way and the back side's printed another way, that it's not all lost. All you have to do is turn it into a waterfall or have a little fun with it in some other way. And so this one was intentionally printed in both directions and to be the exact same size so we could have a waterfall of beautiful leaves. And it just so happens to fit beautifully behind here. Now my washi tape says I'm done for the day because it's been taken on and off so many times. Again, these are just part of what gets printed. Put all this stuff back in. And the back side is white on these for the artists. And when you do your own printables, you can do it however you want to do it. But I did it white because I don't know if you're going to glue it down. I don't know if you're going to decorate it. I don't know how you're going to do it. Now this one is meant to just be a trifold, like you would the old school envelopes, and then tuck down the top pointy part. Okay, so you fold it once, you fold it twice, and then you tuck it in that way. In my case, I used washi and a little butterfly, and I used one of the little stamp-looking things, folded in half to just tuck it to keep it closed. But this allows me to write on both sides if I want to, and every bit of it is usable. You can see every bit of that piece of paper is usable. It's so much fun to make. It felt wonderful crafting again, honestly. I absolutely loved it. Then you have your little bookmark. It's super, super simple. But I love the way this shape pocket looks, right? So you could modify a pocket in this shape if you're making pockets to be a great pen holder if you gave it extra space. And again, all of this really wants to be decorated a little bit more than it is right now. Oh, this right here, actually, I have him going in this little spot. I forgot to close him and talk about him. Oh, look, I'm on the other side of the page and I didn't talk about right here. Okay, so what this one is this is just a little folder, and I'll try to show you really quick. Do you see how you can see? I know it's so tiny for you all. So you can see that it's just a little folder right there made into a pocket. You can put little things in there. And then this one is meant to just be a half size folder that you can put stuff into. And these are the tags that came with the kit. Everyone got a different kind of postcard, so everyone has their own unique postcard. And I was thinking in the Secret Artist group, it might be kind of fun to exchange postcards. So We can talk about that. Just somebody remind me about that. It'll be a nice, fun, simple one to exchange. And then again, a printed doily. Just happens to be here because I'm going to use it for something, just don't know what. Okay, so let me take this out and show you how this pocket works. It looks like a little tab. And then there's a little tab up here. So you can use this little tab to hold something down above it. You can use this little tab if you want, just because it's pretty. And then when you open it up, this is a pocket. Now, the people who have the printable, this pocket actually flips up from the bottom. And you can see, I'll show you again, that pocket actually flips up from the bottom when you're doing the folding. Ignore the pretty papers, even though it's hard to do so. And if your hardest and washi tape is on your wish list, those I try to fulfill in the same month I see those on wish lists. So washi is used in this, but I would consider that one of those basics in supplies. If you want, you can leave this open to keep this closed. However, but I'm assuming nobody's going to make it in the same way. Okay, look at these awesome coin envelopes. Aren't they amazing? So it's just cash, will call, weekly, monthly. I don't know what it is, but it's just the best looking thing for the junk journals. One of these I have filled with my tiny cuts of stamps, right? So the tiny cuts of stamps, the little lady, all the little tiny things. Because I don't know where I'm going to put them yet. And I might even use them for something else and not here. This one shows you that even in the simplest of things, you can make another little pocket. And it's just, this is super duper vintage money, which is kind of fun. And I still have that money, wherever that is. I don't know where it's at. I know you're not supposed to print it, but that country doesn't exist anymore, so it's not a big deal. I do collect weird things like that. So I'm going to, oh, and you can see that I used as a belly band the way to slide this in because it has a nice little fold over for making it. Oops, you got lost. And now I'm singing Lost in Your Eyes. Isn't that like a Debbie Gibson song from forever ago? Okay, this one is just, you can put, make any pocket into a pocket. It flips out open this way and this way, so you can write on both edges. This can be a writing space inside the envelope. You don't actually have to seal the envelope if you don't want to. You can just use those little edges that are on the cut aparts and not seal them, just fold it over in a good crease, and it tends to stay for a long time. Or at least for me and my usable goods. So I'm going to put these things right here as well, just so I have a good spot for them. I can't wait to see how you all make them. And any of the angels who are making this, I'm now at the end. Any of the angels who are making this, if you do a video on what you've made, I would love to have the links to your videos. Kathy sent me her link just a little bit ago. And I know, right? Lost in Your Eyes. It's funny. And so on the links down below, that playlist will include, as I learn more, other people's playlists or other people's videos on either their share or how they're making it. That way it helps the hardest as well. So let's go ahead and pull this whole thing back out again. It is one giant mammoth project that doesn't even fit on screen. I mean, like this thing right here, if you wanted to, you could close it here too. You don't have to close it under the classification folder. You can close it over. My spine here, I just used book pages over the top. And all of the spines were provided pre-cut. This one's cut at 1.5 inches. And this spine is cut at 3/4 of an inch. The length of this is 15 inches. And the length of the cover, which is what makes it so mammoth, 11 inches. Isn't that crazy? So 11 by 15 by 1.5 if you're going to set it on a shelf this way. Probably goes more because we give it extra space. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see your mixed media version. Well, here's the thing. I have to wait until I know how many Hardists. So all the angels currently have theirs, because as of last month, we had 13 angels that do the monthly bag subscription. 2 of those angels have canceled. So moving forward, we have 11 angels that subscribe monthly to whatever we mail out to them, which is a lovely subscription. It's easy to subscribe. I can put that link. Actually, is somebody in here that can put the link? Oh, I might have it. Hold your britches. If I have it easy, I will. It's Disabled Artist Downfation. Oh my gosh. Isn't that funny? So you can buy it, but if you subscribe now to the angel bags, it won't be this in the next kit. I've already done that. And once I do it once, then I don't do it again. Shop here, subscriptions, clicking on it now. I'm coming back to you, don't worry. I'm coming back. There you go. But you're not buying that here. If you want to buy it, I'm going to have the extra ones that I have left after the Hardists have selected how many they want. So I definitely have enough to cover however many Hardists say yes. And then the leftovers will go. I won't be able to get it into this auction. I'll just put it up for sale in the Cares Angels groups, however many I have left over in that Defy Marketplace group. So that's how it goes. But yeah, I love filling the angel bags each month. I take extra care in that. And this month, this was so big, we didn't put the project inside of the pretty little bag. We put the pretty little bag inside of the product. Just thought that was funny. You should see how cute the pretty little bag is. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, no, there are more, Laura. So the price that I'm thinking on these is we'll just make it the same price as what I charge the angel bag, $25. Definitely a fair price because there's 3 kits that come in it. One of them is a 20-page set. The other 2 are 7-page PDFs and all of these supplies that you see here. So yeah, Hardists come first and the leftovers I'll put up for sale. But I'll let you guys know. Don't worry. Now, for me personally, I want to show you how I'm actively going to use this. So someone wonderful made this for me. It was a Happy Mail. And let me see if we remember who the who was. Please tell me the who is right here. Christy. So Christy made this fabulous Happy Mail for me. And Christy, I don't know if you know this, but you are going to go into my daily project journal here. There you go. And some of the things that are provided in this actually came from my stash of office supplies, as you can tell. But I don't know if you guys know this, but classification folders, if you go to order them, flipping expensive. So now if I ever see them at a yard sale or something, those things are going to keep my eyes open. I'm going to show you another thing that I really, really, really wanted to fit in here with this, but it didn't fit. This is the next project I'm going to be working on, is converting this empty book, which I used with these book pages, into a little zipper folder. So I'm going to glue down my empty, you can see how my book ripped out so beautifully, it just asked to be a project. And so I just folded the page to fit, and I'm going to glue this in here. And so this is going to definitely fit some which way. Actually, it might fit this way into my thing. I know. I get carried away, and it was supposed to be just to share, and I'm still going. But yeah, it might fit here. Put this baby over here. Because I want to have these questions with me. Okay, there. This actually might work. Dagnabbit, look at that. There's a lot of space in this booklet. Keep you here, keep everything closed pretty. Oh, look at that. It actually bubbles out though. but I can't make anything without a little bit of an alligator mouth. This could be thicker if you were going to carry it all the time. But let me tell you why I chose the size chipboard I did. You can cut it with a regular pair of scissors. Artists, they may get a paper trimmer, but they usually get the basic paper trimmer. Some of them can't have sharp objects, and so they can still craft without having that. And if they can't have sharp objects, then the rounded edge scissors maybe, depends on what their situation is. So yeah, these are definitely cuttable with a regular pair of scissors. So if you wanted to make it smaller. And I challenge you, if you don't want to make this giant lap book, let me know what you make, because I think that's too bulky. I'll come up with something. I do love this idea though. It hit me because they were sitting next to each other. How cute. Okay. All that aside, all done. And then if somebody's coming to meet with me, they don't even have to see all my crazy underneath. It looks somewhat normal in this section, right? Somewhat normal. Everybody knows I'm not normal anyway. So with that, thank you all for joining me on this project. Hopefully everybody really enjoys making it, that ends up getting it. And anyone who wants it, I will have answers on how many are available by the end of this month. Or actually, I'll know how many are available in a week, because that's all by the time that the artists get all the answers to me on how many need it, Jean, Peter, and I are going to trade notes. Any that I'm not sending to, she's sending to, and she has the bulk of them this month. So there will be some available. With that, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and say love and hugs. Enjoy your lap project if you have it. And if you don't, hopefully all the ideas that come out of this can show you how you can use office supplies to make fun projects. Love and hugs. Take care. Bye-bye.